Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ITSM interview questions. I hope you are going through all these interview questions and you are able to get benefited by it. Okay, so let me share my screen and see where we are on. So today we are going to discuss one important question which is about service request. Before that, you see this is our playlist ITSM interview question. So total 8 to 10 videos are there. You have to watch all these questions. These are very important for any ServiceNow or ITSM type of interviews. I have explained each and every question in a very simple manner with respect to keeping interviews in mind. Okay, so just go through it one by one. Wherever you see you are lacking. So today we are going to discuss about service request. So this is one of the common question, like what is a service request. So let's start with the basic definition. So a service request is a formal request from a user for something that is already approved, standard and supported by IT. So basically, in order to perform your day-to-day operations, in order to do your day-to-day work, an employee, a user need many things, but it is eventually not available, not yet provided to those. So for that reason, the user has to apply for it. User has to request that. So that is what known as service request. So it is a regular thing. That's why it is written. It is already approved, standard and supported by IT. So many time it is a regular practice that it is supported by IT. It is already approved. Okay, you just need to go and ask for it, and via the IT department or the IT people, it will be provided to you. So it is not a failure or an outage. No, if you are confused whether it is a simple outage or failure, no, it is not that. It is something that the user need or want. In order to do your day-to-day work, day-to-day operations, you just need to means the user want this. Okay, that's why user is requesting it. So it's a kind of service request are usually repeatable, low risk and well defined. So it is very well simple thing. It is a repeatable thing means as soon as new user join, as soon as you join a particular team. So for those work, okay, you or that particular team member has to request that particular access or that particular service and use it in order to perform their day-to-day work. So that's why it is repeatable, because every member from the group needs it. So they have to ask for it. They have to write, they have to ask the IT team for it. Then it is a low risk. It is a standard thing. That's why it is a low risk. It's a simple process and it is well defined because we know when it is needed, why it is needed, and what will happen if it is granted to a particular user. So that's why it is well defined. So in simple words, a service request is about providing something, not fixing something. As simple as that. So you have to keep this in mind. People generally get confused between service request and incident. Okay. So do not get confused. It is something which is providing you access to a particular thing that you need on day-to-day operations. It is not fixing anything. Okay. So you have to keep that in mind. So we have this diagram. Service request is user asks for something, whereas incident is service is broken. In service request, it is planned and standard, whereas incident is obviously unplanned disruptions. You already know that it is low risk, whereas incident is a high urgency. So you already know this. Okay. So this is a very simple and straightforward difference between both. Keep this in mind. Common example of service request. So yes, let's discuss some common example. Typical service request include new laptop or a desktop request, software access request, password reset, email distribution, creation list. So there are many n number of things, but these are very common. Whenever a new user joined a company, they need a new desktop or a new laptop. So on that behalf, on their behalf, their manager is going to ask for it. Okay, need to create a service request. Once once the user have a laptop or desktop, they may need some software access, or maybe while you are working on something, you need something. Okay, you need some kind of software access. So in that case, you just go and request for it. Password reset, this is a very common. Let's say you forgot your password or something like that. So in that case, what will happen? You just request the IT team to reset your password. So like this, now you can think of n number of service requests which you are using on your daily basis. So what is the diagram? What is the life cycle of service request? User requested a service, request logged. Okay. And if approval is needed, generally it does not require any approval. It's a very basic minimum, but if needed, approval is there. Once approved, a fulfillment is there. It means request is granted. That particular access is given, that particular software is given to you, to the user, and finally the request is closed. Now, next question is why service requests are handled separately. So service requests are handled separately because they are predictable, they can be automated, they are improving efficiency, and they reduce the workload on incident team. So you cannot mix both of these, service requests and incident teams, because incident team is solely focusing on disrupted services and keeping it up as soon as possible. Whereas service requests are low risk, automated, and predictable things. These are used for day-to-day purposes. Okay, that's why you should not mix. If you mix it, obviously the incident team will get more workload, and they have to shift their focus from you know availability of services to this particular service request handling. So that's why we have a separate teams who are doing that, and it is good if separate teams are doing it. Real world example, simple. A new employee joins the company, user request laptop and email access. Request follow predefined approvals and fulfillment steps. Access is provided smoothly without disruption. Okay, the service request is a request. This is not an incident. So, this is a simple, we already discussed this example. So, make sure you have your own examples ready. Whenever you go to an interview, you know the difference properly between incident and service request. Why service requests matter to the business? Because service requests help business by improving the user satisfaction, speeding up the delivery, reducing the operational chaos, and supporting onboarding and daily operations. So we already discussed. These all are the merits or advantages of service request. What are the common interview mistakes? Treating service request as incident, we already discussed it. Ignoring the approval workflow, if workflow is there. So we have to make sure that we are adding the approvals and all. Okay. It's not always without approval. If it is a sensitive request, then obviously manager approval or business unit head approval is needed. Okay, so make sure the workflow is following that, not mentioning the standardization and focusing only on the tools. So people think, so it is mostly a standard request. Okay, generally, whenever we request for any kind of service, this service already exists. This service is already provided to people who are working on it. So that's why it is a standard. So you need not to define this separately every time. Okay, that's why it is mentioning like not mentioning standardization. Finally, focusing only on the tools. So it's not only focusing on the tools, it can be any access request, it can be any kind of data request, it can be any kind of work request. So it has various categories. It's not only to get access to a particular tool. Next thing is 11th. What structure should you follow? You should know best definition, which we already discussed. How it is different from incident, we already discussed. Good examples, I have given you plenty. And the business value. Why? What business value this particular service request is providing? In case, let's say the access request, you access a particular software. So when you work on that software, it is improving your efficiency, it is decreasing the work time. Okay, so these all are the business values which a particular service request is providing. So make sure you know whenever you get any service request, how much business value you are getting from it. You have the basic idea for that. So next is incident versus service request difference. So we will discuss this with proper example in the next video. Okay. So last, service requests make IT services predictable, scalable, and user friendly. I already discussed this. So it is predictable means you know what you have to do. Okay. You can scale it. Scale it means you can give it to n number of people who are working on that. And then finally, it is very user friendly. You need not to do so much of work in that. You just need to open or go to service catalog or any portal, open the category, open the catalog item, okay, and then fill up your request and simply submit it. Okay, it is not very technical in detail. You are just asking for a particular IT service. Okay, so I hope you got it. This is all about what is a service request. Let me know what all questions, what all doubts you are having. I will explain it properly. This particular section is only with respect to, you know, conceptual understanding of ITSM interview question, because this is a very important section. So I hope you are getting it. Let me know your doubts, comments. I will see you in next video. Till then, thank you so much. Bye bye.